This is the highest level of revenge. First, this man is cleanly shaven, then tightly tied on the operating table. The doctor performs the surgery on his lower body, and after waking up, he finds out that he had lost the man's soul. That makes him very desperate. Then the doctor even gives him some special tools, and says that these tools are very effective so he should try them. This man is constantly put on the operating table, until he completely transforms into a woman. But the one problem is that his skin is quite thin. The doctor tells him to wear a special protective suit that covers from head to toe. Even his voice has also been changed. Taking the chance when the doctor doesn't pay attention, he tries to run away. Unfortunately, this doctor quickly locked the door before. After being threatened by the doctor many times, he no longer wants to live, because he can't accept this humiliation. But the doctor has high qualifications and advanced techniques, so he can save him. After a few weeks, the mask is removed, which looks like the dead wife's face of the doctor. The doctor even names her Vera, and locks her up in a room. Moreover, he obliges her to wear female clothes. At first, Vera feels extremely angry and frantically tears off all her clothes, and then puts them in a vacuum cleaner. The doctor also gives Vera a makeup kit, so that she can learn how to be a real woman. There are also very few programs on TV, only programs for women. In order to relieve stress, she starts to learn yoga. In addition, to take care of Vera's life, the doctor specially hires a professional nanny. Vera also begins to draw miscellaneous on the wall, and her hair has also grown out gradually. 6 years have passed. To control Vera's actions, the doctor has always put sedatives in the water for her to drink. The daily food is regularly sent through a pipe. If Vera needs something, she just calls the nanny, but except for sharp objects. She begins to try to wear a dress. It seems that she gradually accepts herself as a woman. One day, when returning home, the doctor finds out that Vera suicided, so he immediately takes her to the operating room, and she is saved again. In order to have better skin for Vera, Robert uses pig blood to conduct experiments to create new cells. After the research process, the doctor finally creates a new artificial skin. He lets Vera wear this skin. This is an artificial skin, so if it is burned, it won't cause any sensation to the person wearing it. And if it is bitten by a mosquito, the skin is also no swelling. The person who researches this skin is a famous cosmetic surgeon named Robert. The woman who Robert sees as a laboratory animal is always locked in his house. Seeing his research masterpiece there, Robert is extremely excited, because this masterpiece is very similar to the figure of his dead wife. But the frightening thing here is that this woman used to be a man. Many years ago, Robert's wife had a very serious traffic accident, and because she was burned, her appearance changed a lot. Because she couldn't bear this shock, she chose to jump upstairs to suicide. Unfortunately, his daughter saw this scene, which made her childhood severely affected. Robert tried to find ways to treat his daughter, and also took her to join the party to interact with strangers. But she was seduced by a man, and he invited her into the forest to play perverse with her. When going out, Robert saw a motorcycle leaving. Then he found his daughter lying in the middle of the forest. This incident made her mental illness worse and worse, so she had to be taken to a mental hospital. As a father who loves his daughter, Robert determined to avenge her. Robert quickly chased the man's motorbike, and then crashed the man, which made him fall to the road. Then Robert shot the anesthetic, and brought him home. When waking up, the man found out that he was tied by chains in a room without food, but only water. And he didn't know where he is, calling for help, but there was also no one. When getting the message, Vera's mother quickly went to the police station, but they said they could only find the motorbike, but her son's body was not found. At that time, Vera didn't know why she was locked up either. Robert didn't tell her. The doctor washed Vera cleanly, and then found another place to imprison her. Having lived in solitude for a long time, Vera no longer protests. She gradually becomes obedient. Because of an increasingly severe mental illness, so Robert's daughter suicided, which made him very distressed, and he decided to start his journey of retaliation. He invites his team to perform transgender surgery for her, in order to change Vera into the shape of his dead wife. After that, he locks her up in his villa. The nanny tells Robert it is very dangerous to do it, but he doesn't care. He fires all the maids in his house. One day the son of the nanny comes to this house. He just finished robbing, so he came here to avoid being arrested. When seeing the girl in the camera screen, he has a bad intention. He doesn't care about his mother's objection. Vera is asking about the situation outside. This man even ties up his mother, and goes around to look for Vera. Finally, he also captures Vera. At that time, Robert returns to home, and finds out his masterpiece touched by a man. Robert immediately shoots him dead, then buries his body. After this incident, he feels very sorry for Vera, so he no longer locks her up, and begins to give her freedom. They also gradually arise feelings. It seems that Vera no longer wants to run away. She begins to accept this destiny. Robert's colleague looks for him, and says he wants to buy this villa to build the clinic. Of course, Robert disagrees with him, but he has known about kidnapping and illegal detention for the past 6 years, so he takes it to threaten Robert. But when returning home, Vera says she hasn't been kidnapped, and also asserts that she is originally a woman. But when seeing herself in the newspaper, she is a bit agitated but still tries to repress. Robert also doesn't pay much attention. At night Vera sneaky puts a gun from the drawer into her bag. After going upstairs, Robert feels something very strange. He thinks Vera has loved him, but unexpectedly from start to finish she is just acting. She does it just to make Robert not wary, and then taking advantage of opportunities, she pulls out her gun and shoots him dead. When hearing the sound, she holds a gun and goes upstairs. At that moment, Vera is hiding under the bed. When the nanny doesn't notice, Vera also shoots her dead. She quickly wipes off her fingerprints, and then leaves the house, where she was locked up for 6 years. She hurriedly goes to her mother's store, but everyone no longer recognizes her. After listening to her tell the whole story, everyone also understands, but it's really hard for a mother to accept her son like that. This movie is produced by Spain. It has quite new and interesting content. It's really worthy to watch. Everyone can find this movie to watch and feel its content in the most complete way. Goodbye and see you on the next movies.